Scanning for audio. Scanning for audio.
Hello, welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. This time we'll be talking about not Doctor Who, not Torchwood, but it'll still be time travel and it'll still be from Big Finish because it's Timeslip. In fact, this episode and the next one are going to be Timeslip Volume 3 and the final one, which is Timeslip Volume 4. Each volume is the equivalent of a 2-disc set, but it's one story, one narrative. Now, Timeslip was a 1970s TV series for kids on ITV. ITC Entertainment Group. And the characters from that 1970s show have grown up and become the adults in this one. It's got a bit of a time tunnel, not Lost in Space kind of a feel to it. And the reviews of the first 2 box sets can be found on the Tin Dog podcast elsewhere. I thoroughly enjoyed the first 2. They inspired me to go away and find the actual TV versions, which I knew nothing about. And do you need to know? Well, you probably wouldn't not need to have had the first 2 box sets. They're all great standalone stories, but to get the continuing arc and the desperation to get home, you probably need to have experienced the other sets. But what I am saying is that these 2 stories are very, very good. And we're going to do one at a time. The first one is A Life Never Lived. Available in July, available to buy around the world after August the 31st, which, as I record this, is tomorrow. Finding themselves in 1914, Simon, Liz, Jade, Neil and Charlotte realise this isn't an alternative phase of history. This is really their past, and anything they change could have serious repercussions. While Simon and Neil watch for the barrier to return, Jade tries to ensure that Charlotte doesn't tamper with the past. Liz insists on attending a meeting of the local suffragette, not suffragists, Flora Walsh. When Simon realises the real reason Liz wants to meet Flora, he's shocked. Flora is Liz's great-grandmother, and Liz knows she's destined to die the following day. Dun, dun, dun. All Liz wants to do is spend the final day with her. Where's the harm in that? Well, as it's about 6 episodes, you know there's harm in that. Imagine an inverse Back to the Future. It's glorious. I mean, it's brilliant. It's so steeped in early 1914, the world of the pre-war, of the pre-First World War, the Great War, that you just feel so real. Because a lot of the suffragette movies and things like that are set much earlier. Yes, Pankhurst's dealt with. So it's a really nice, rich world to tap into for a background. And it feels almost, BBC educationally. It's one story, and I'll grant you that for this. And I do feel that having the 4 box sets, the 4 big stories, is a bit sad because I want more. It's a cracking setup, a really nice design, because it's ordinary people who happen to be wandering through time, trying to sort out the sort of problems that normally require some organisation like Torchwood or the Doctor or Unit to fix. And there's none of that here. It's just people trying to do their best. Thoroughly enjoyable story. And I'll be ashamed when they're gone. In fact, I enjoyed it so much, and I had been putting it off for a while, that I thought, sod it, let's just go straight into episode 4, series 4, the 4th box set, whatever you want to call it, and just started listening immediately. One massive binge, and I've not done that for a long time. It's a cracking story, set 3, and I really hope there's going to be more, although I've heard there probably isn't. Until next time, here's the trailer, and I'll go and record the review of box set 4 right now.
There's a barrier
A time barrier. We'd go through it, and within seconds we'd be in another time.
From Big Finish Productions, Timeslip, a life never lived.
For too long, we've been lenient on lawbreakers and...
Equal rights for women! Take our leaflet!
Equal rights! Look at this one. Women's suffrage meeting.
The date of the meeting is 10th of January 1914.
The fact is that our methods have become extreme.
Don't you see? It's more serious than that.
This is a women's rights thing, yeah?
But they crush us. They force feed us. They break our teeth. They beat us.
We need to work out, is this an alternative past, a different time phase? And more prosaically, how do we survive here until the barrier reappears?
And each assault makes us angrier. Each assault makes us want to cause havoc.
It's no way for civilized people to behave.
Well, we could be arrested and sent to prison. Are you interested?
It sounds too dangerous.
We've joined the women's suffrage movement.
This is beginning to feel like a row of dominoes. We've knocked over the first one, and we've no clue as to what it will knock over next. Big Finish. For the love of stories.
What have we done?
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.